What's up, world? Welcome to the Positive Truth, uplifting and positive news for a more progressive society. Tim, what are we trying to bring?
Here at the Positive Truth, we're trying to bring awareness, empowerment, inspiration, optimism, and understanding to communities everywhere.
That's what we do. It's Friday, so you know what that means. We're talking about an issue, why it's an issue, facts about it, and how you can change it for the better. Today we're doing transgender rights. On Monday and Wednesdays we do uplifting and positive news. Absolutely amazing. The uplifting and positive news is audio only. On Fridays there's a visual aspect. You can check it out on our YouTube channel, The Positive Truth. We're also on Facebook at The Positive Truth Podcast, Instagram at The Positive Truth, and Twitter at TPT_podcast, Gmail at The Positive Truth at Gmail, but of course you can't watch on the Gmail and the Instagram and stuff. I'm just shouting out our social media at this point.
Turn up.
I got this wonderful t-shirt on, Tim. Do you want to tell the world about it?
Yeah, man, for sure. Is this Generation 2?
This is Generation 2.
So Generation 1 basically had what he had on the front on both backside, but now Generation 2, we got a different logo on the back, which is pretty cool. We have gray ones and black ones just like this. If you want one, they're $20. You can email us at thepositivetruth@gmail.com. If you do not have money for it, or whatever the case may be, you think $20 too much, it doesn't really matter, because if you add all of your friends to social media and 10 of them like it, we will send you one for free. You just have to email us, and that's it, really. Show the proof that you have it, and that's that.
And all the proceeds from these t-shirts go to a nonprofit, RAIN for sexual assault, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Positive Tomorrow's OKC.
You get to choose.
Basically. And even if you just get the followers, we still donate the money.
And you get to choose what nonprofit it goes to, and it's as simple as that. You get to be positive while rocking a cool t-shirt. How cool is that?
The only thing more cool is free food.
Indubitably. Which Oklahoma City Public Schools is giving free food to everybody in the district now. Crazy, man. Crazy.
What kind of free food?
Lunch, and it's lunch. It's lunch and breakfast. They're no longer applications or anything like that. Everybody gets free food. It's pretty cool. Nice little fun story right there. Positive story to start the show.
Absolutely. And we're talking about the positivity of transgender rights today.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, what is transgender rights?
What is transgender rights?
This is transgender people and their civil rights and liberties, and we're going to be discussing them today. Why is that topic an issue?
I mean, it's a big issue in today's society for sure. I mean, especially with our president banning all transgender people from the military, announcing it on Twitter because he likes to tweet. Also there's all kind of interviews going on still that you can watch on YouTube where they're asking insensitive questions like, what do you look like naked and stuff like that? Or are you gonna look like a man if you take off your clothes? When I saw that, I was just like, are you serious right now? I mean, this is definitely a sensitive topic that we need to educate ourselves on. And that's what we're here for.
So what is a transgender?
You have a better answer for that than me.
I mean, let's just start with this. So basically, many Americans still don't personally know anyone that's transgender, or at least has come out and told them that. But the number seems to be growing rapidly, with 35% of people, likely voters in the United States, personally knowing or working with someone that's transgender. That's more than double the 17% that answered in 2014. Basically, we think there are around 700,000 transgender people in the United States, or about 0.3% of the population, and about 3.5% of the LGBTQ community.
Right.
But they're likely conservative because there's a stigma which comes with being transgender and coming out. Transgender community is really diverse. I mean, you could be male or female, genderqueer, a gender somewhere outside of the spectrum. Some take hormones and take surgery to do a transition, some don't. Some openly identify as transgender, others simply identify as man or woman. I mean, yeah. But other than that, they're just like me and you, Tim.
Exactly.
Tears all taste the same. They bleed the same color blood. They all have fears. They all have goals and ambitions. You got any other facts?
I got some facts. I mean, like you said, about 700,000 people in the U.S., approximately 1.4 million in the world. Of course, that's estimated. I have some facts, like in 1966, the first transition surgery was practiced at Johns Hopkins Hospital, which I thought was pretty cool. I think it was like 5 years later that I read that this first surgery was actually completed. It's estimated for about $5,000 to $50,000 that it cost to to get this surgery done. So whenever people are actually when they're actually doing this, they're taking it serious. This isn't something that they decided, oh, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have this surgery. I'm actually gonna get it done. This is something that is obviously serious to them. So the fact that people don't take it serious, it's kind of annoying, and that's exactly why we're coming up with these facts.
Time out. Think about, like, you identify as a man, right, Tim?
Exactly.
Think about how many things that, like, changes in your life. I mean, there's a lot of aspects, right?
Right.
So anytime you're changing genders, like, that's a really big deal.
Exactly.
Like, there's no way you can't take that serious.
Exactly.
Like, there are things, like, as a man or a woman that you just, it just comes with it, that you don't even realize or even think about unless you're thinking about something like this.
Exactly. And there's a lot of insensitive topics that you can find online that it just doesn't make any sense to me why people aren't educating themselves on their own. People are judging these people.
Because we're Americans, man. We're overworked and underpaid. We ain't got time for this. Just keep them out of my military, Tim. That was sarcasm.
That was sarcasm. That was. I definitely caught that one this time too.
I had to change the tone.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, like you said, it's something very serious that they thought about. And there's a lot of insensitive conversations going on. The fact that 41% of transgender people have attempted to commit suicide. They have attempted suicide. Exactly. That's a super depressing stat. And the fact that people aren't talking about it, it's annoying. People think that transgender people aren't good enough for the military. They can't perform right. It's going to cost too much, etc., etc., etc. We can go in facts like that all day long, which I know you have a lot. But before we get there, I mean, there's so many great things that transgender people have done. Like, you look at Laverne Cox, who was nominated for an Emmy recently. You have Caitlyn Jenner, who before she was Caitlyn Jenner, she was Bruce Jenner, who was an Olympic athlete, an Olympic gold athlete, a decathlon athlete, who back in the day, a decathlon athlete was considered the best athlete in the world. It's still considered the best athlete in the world today. So the fact that we have all these transgender people doing great things and people still don't think they're up to par, it just doesn't make any sense to me. There's only 18 states in the United States right now also that have laws for transgender people. That means 32 states can fire people, transgender people, for their identity, which is wrong. It's not okay.
Is it 2017, Tim?
I think so, man.
Why is it still happening?
It's 2017 in some states, I guess. You know what I mean? 26% actually, I believe the stat was from 2014, but 26% of transgender people have lost their jobs because of their identity. And 50% of those people have said they've been harassed at work. It's America, man. These are my depressing stats. I know JP has a bunch of positive stats that he's going to counter these, and it's going to be amazing. I know you guys can't wait for that. JP, go ahead and hit him up with these military stats that you had.
Oh.
Before we get there, you have something else?
I think you should keep going. We'll just get into all the negativity now, and we'll just bring it back later.
I mean, that's pretty much all the negativity I can go into for right now, because if I go any more, it's just going to be ridiculous.
I mean, there's a lack of legal protection, there's harassment and stigma. I mean, even from the LGBTQ community, like, there's basically for centuries they were considered mentally ill.
Yes. Man, I was talking to my wife about this episode before I came over and stuff, and she was just like, they thought, everybody back in the day thought they were mentally ill. How wrong is that? I'm sorry. You know how aggressive she gets, so I was just like, I am sorry.
I did just not get aggressive. I'm gonna save Tim right now.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, like, there's a stigma that they're mentally ill, socially defiant, they're sexually predatory. It's like, oh, they just want to go into these are guys that are just claiming they're women so they can go in the women's restroom and take pictures of them.
Did you see that ad in Arizona?
You know, I got an ad block.
There was an ad in Arizona where it was a little girl, because they were trying to fight the whole bathroom law, where your birth certificate, whatever your gender was on your birth certificate, that's what restroom you had to go to. It doesn't matter what you identify yourself as. And they put a commercial where a little girl went to the girl's restroom, and then you had this guy with the hat on, glasses, who was walking. Sorry, I'm standing up real quick. Who was walking, looks around the corner, and then walks straight into the restroom right after the little girl does. That commercial made me so mad because, one, who knows what that person identified himself as, and two, it's still wrong for a man like that to go into the restroom to follow a little girl, and three, that doesn't make any sense for what they were trying to fight for. It was no words in it at all. It was just a short ad, and I actually watched this video. It was one of the ads I was watching. doing research into this video, and it just doesn't make any sense to me why this stigma is so bad, man.
I mean, this is America. We have a lot of advertisements coming towards us, and most of them are built on the idea of fear, and that's definitely just another one. Especially if you don't know, it's really easy to have fear of something. It's like being scared of the dark. You don't know what's in the darkness. So you definitely have a fear of transgender people, but they're just like you. They're just like you. They just identify as transgender. Positive stat, change in America is a really funny thing. Really funny thing. 2014, there are places in Alabama that still have segregated proms. But America, a poll released by the Public Religion Research Institute, found that 72% of Americans are in favor of passing laws to protect lesbian, gay, and transgender people from discrimination. 3/4 Democrats and 2/3 Republicans. I mean, that's a positive stat.
It definitely is. How many was it, Republicans again? You said 2/3?
2/3 Republicans, 3/4 of the Democrats. Basically everybody, the majority.
For sure, majority, definitely.
I mean, that's a good thing. A majority of Americans also oppose the so-called bathroom bill, which required transgender people to use restrooms that correspond with their sex at birth. Just over 80% of Americans believe the federal government already bars employers from firing gay or transgender employees, but that's not the truth. Since we know that, there's like how many states?
32 states can fire them for their identity.
So I mean, this is America. At least the general consensus is like, hey, we need to change this.
I agree. We all agree.
So that's the positivity that comes with this. The reason we did this topic though was because of our president, named Donald Trump. Interesting fellow.
Very interesting.
So basically he announced a ban on transgender people in the military because of, I have the exact tweet right here.
Nice. I was looking for it too, and I don't know, I got sidetracked earlier.
Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory that cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Well, I got the medical costs, Tim. There is estimated between 1,320 active duty transgender service people and 6,630, with 12,800 people, including the reserves. And yeah, they do have they do have medical necessities. Costs $4.2 to $5.6 million yearly. That's a lot of money, right? Do you also know that the U.S. military spends $84 million a year on erectile dysfunction? I'm dead serious. That's the truth.
America.
We also spend $437 million each year for the bands. So the Air Force band, the trombone, drums, all that stuff. Air Force, Navy, all their bands, $437 million. The defense budget is $640 billion. Right. So let's say it's $5.6 million a year of $640 billion. I think we can afford that, right?
I agree. I mean,
and also another thing Trump said was, it's tenacious. It's so hard because you have to go through all these long, boring classes about respecting transgender people. Well, they also do that for sexual assault.
Let's not talk about sexual assault and Donald Trump.
My point is those are boring classes about sexual assault too, but we need to have them because we have a history in America, especially in the military, of discriminating against women and sexually assaulting women, and that's why we have them. That's why we pay to have them. We appreciate that, and that's why we do them. That's why we did them with transgender people. So now, what's basically going to happen is it's going to be don't ask, don't tell. It's going to be just like when they banned gay people in the military. But positivity. There have been numerous generals, congressmen that said we can't enforce this. If a patriot wants to serve, we should let them serve. And if it only costs us $5.6 million in tax money when we're spending $84 million on erectile dysfunction in the military, I think I'm okay with my tax money going to that instead of erectile dysfunction. Not that that's a bad thing, but if we can take care of erectile dysfunction, we can help with we can have transgender people in the military.
I agree. I mean, there's already transgender people in the military, like you said, and they've been serving. So what's the issue now? You're trying to save $4.2 million for what, actually? You know what I mean? Let's take money away from everything else, exactly like they're saying, exactly
so
like
we can build more nuclear weapons to threaten countries with. Of course, Tim.
Hashtag America.
Well, look, my general, like, all my stats say, like, most Americans support transgender people, and that's a positive thing. Short episode, but it's just like, hey, if someone hits you with this, we shouldn't have transgender people in the military, hit them with it actually doesn't cost anything, comparatively. I know $5.6 million is a lot. But in $640 billion,
that's nothing.
Really not.
It's like out of a dollar, you know, hey, a couple pennies, literally. You know what I mean? It's not going to cost much. And this is something that...
And they want to serve. Lord knows. I don't want to go through boot camp.
Yo, either do I. There's no way. Like, it's America. We got to get used to this. We change all the time. You know, for decades, this has been a hot topic. And especially now, you know, our president of the United States is using social media as a platform, and he's letting people know how he really feels. We have to get used to this. This isn't going to automatically change. And
change always costs something. And right now, all it's going to cost us is a little bit of education. Just get to know someone.
And a little bit less Viagra for the military guys.
Do you have a Viagra-filled quote for us, Tim?
I definitely don't have a Viagra-filled quote. But I wanted to say this quote the other day on the Monday, Wednesday episodes, which if you guys, again, he said it earlier, but if you guys don't follow us on our podcast, make sure you guys do. Not just Facebook, because I know a lot of you guys watch us just on Facebook. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. It's one of my favorite quotes. I know Kevin Durant said it, but I I heard this back when I was in middle school. And, you know, Kevin Durant was in Texas University. There's no way he said this back in the day. It was actually a high school coach that said it back in the day for his basketball team, because he had a bunch of hardworking kids and try to motivate them, and it's all that good stuff. But that's a quote that I definitely try to live by, and I hope you guys can, you know, take it for what it is and not think Kevin Durant said it. So for all you Oklahomans out there listening, it wasn't Kevin Durant who started that quote, guys. He might have changed up the words a little bit, but it is what it is.
What's wrong with KD, man?
Nothing, man. A lot of people hate him, you know. He left Oklahoma. I was salty for a year or two, or a year and a half, I guess. It's been a year and a half now, right? Not a year and a couple months. I was salty at first, but after he won his championship, it's like, all right, you did what you did, and everybody else sees him for who he is. So it is what it is. He's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, I think if he was playing in the 90s, he would get thrashed, but it is what it is. I do, man, I do.
Also, Kevin Durant is a supporter of transgender people. Shout out to KD.
For sure. He's a good dude overall, for sure. Just don't like you like the Thunder, man.
We're completely off topic. So
we are, my bad.
We will be back on Monday with more positive news. Quick episode, but I mean, let's just be real. You need to be said. Until then, we're out.
Stay positive.